Every morning we wake up and follow the same cycle. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Day after day the ritual continues. An unbroken circle that never seems to break. But why? What's the goal of it all? Maybe you have felt it before. That odd, unnerving moment when everything seems meaningless. When the things that formerly felt significant start to feel empty. When existence itself comes to resemble a machine working without purpose, without rationale. Albert Camus felt this too, but instead of sinking in despair, he found a solution, an answer that may transform the way you perceive life forever. For thousands of years, mankind had an anchor, a magnificent tale that made sense of everything. Every birth, every struggle, every grief had value because it was part of a divine design. Life was terrible, but at least it had direction. Suffering was not worthless. It was a test, a lesson, or perhaps a step towards something higher. Death itself wasn't the end, but rather a passage to another existence, a reunion with somebody higher. People took consolation in this notion. They gazed at the grandeur of the cosmos and found purpose. They looked at their anguish and recognized purpose. It was a certainty that made life bearable. But suddenly, everything changed. The march of science transformed the globe. Charles Darwin believed that life was not made by heavenly hands, but formed by the gradual, indifferent process of evolution. The Big Bang Theory stated that the cosmos was not created with humanity in mind. It was merely the consequence of physical forces expanding and unfolding according to mathematical principles, not moral ones. Disease, natural calamities, suffering, these were not punishments or tests. They were random, chaotic, meaningless. And when these scientific answers gained stronger, the old tales began to vanish. Religion lost its grip, and along with it, mankind lost something profound: certainty. Friedrich Nietzsche saw it coming. He famously exclaimed, "God is dead." But this was not a victory shout, it was a warning. He did not imply that some divine entity had literally perished. He meant that people had ceased believing. Faith, which formerly organized society, morality, and human purpose, was collapsing. And as trust dies, so does certainty. For millennia, people have depended on religion to answer the great questions. Why are we here? What is our purpose? What happens after we die? But now those explanations were gone, and in their place, just stillness remained. A cold, impersonal world extended eternally, providing nothing, no purpose, no great design, no final conclusion. This was not only an intellectual issue, it was very personal, because when meaning is peeled away, so is stability. People were left looking into the emptiness, attempting to make meaning of their own life. If there's no higher purpose, then why wake up in the morning? Why go to work? Why follow goals, fall in love, form families, or strive for anything, if, in the end, it all evaporates into nothing? For many, this knowledge was horrifying. Some plunged into despair, others clutched firmly to fantasies. Some smothered themselves with distractions, seeking money, prestige, pleasure, anything to avoid facing the awful fact that maybe life is completely pointless. And that's where Albert Camus comes in. He stood at the verge of this existential catastrophe and refused to look away. He asked the same terrible questions. He peered into the abyss, but instead of yielding to despair, he saw something unexpected. A route ahead, a means to not just live in a meaningless world but to find delight in it. Humans have an unbreakable yearning for purpose. It's hardwired within us. From the minute we are old enough to ask questions, we want answers. Why are we here? What's our purpose? Is there something higher beyond all this? We stare at the immensity of the world, the stars reaching eternally into infinity, and we want it to reply to tell us that we matter, that we belong, that our hardships, our pleasures, our love, none of it is in vain. But the universe keeps mute. No voice speaks from the vacuum. No holy writing emerges in the sky. No cosmic force reassures us that everything will be well. Albert Camus termed this the absurd, this battle between our frantic desire for meaning and a cosmos that refuses to supply one. It's like shouting into an empty canyon, waiting for a response that will never come. And that silence, it's awful. So most people attempt to escape it. The 3 ways humans react to the absurd. When confronted with the meaninglessness of existence, individuals tend to fall into 3 basic traps. Denial, clinging to manufactured meaning. Some individuals hesitate to believe that life has no inherent value. Instead, people grab onto ready-made answers. Religion, political ideologies, cultural narratives. They develop soothing myths, thinking that some greater force or system has a big design. And although this might bring stability, it frequently demands blind trust, ignoring the truth that the world isn't bound to give us purpose. Nihilism, falling into despair. Others move in the opposite way. If life has no purpose, they say, then nothing matters. Love, beauty, morality, it's all an illusion. This is nihilism, the conviction that existence is absolutely useless. And with this notion frequently comes melancholy, cynicism, and even self-destruction. If nothing matters, then why bother doing anything at all? Escape, numbing oneself with diversions. Then there's the most usual response. Distraction. People drown away the existential abyss with labor, money, amusement, pleasure. They seek job success, social prestige, limitless entertainment, or transitory pleasures, anything to avoid addressing the scary fact that deep down, they don't know why they're doing any of it. Look around. How many individuals do you see continually scrolling on their phones, partying without joy, pursuing fortune but never feeling satisfied? They're not genuinely living. They're running from the vacuum, from the stillness, from the dread that maybe, just maybe, existence doesn't come with a pre-written meaning. But Camus, he refused to run. He faced the absurd directly in the eye and did something no one expected. He welcomed it. And in doing so, he uncovered a 4th option, one that may lead not only to survival, but to actual happiness. Camus found his solution in an ancient Greek myth, the story of Sisyphus, a narrative that had existed for ages but had never been looked at in the manner Camus saw it. Sisyphus was not just any man. He was a king, cunning and rebellious, someone who refused to surrender to fate. He deceived the gods, fled the underworld, and sought to outmaneuver death itself. He was intelligent, too clever, and the gods had no choice but to punish him in a way that would shatter his spirit forever. His punishment, an eternity of useless effort. Every day, Sisyphus was compelled to push a large rock up a steep mountain, and just when he approached the summit, when it looked like he may finally finish his mission, the boulder would roll back down to the bottom, erasing all his effort, over and again, forever, with no respite, no reward, no escape. It was the greatest curse. The gods understood that physical anguish could be endured, but hopelessness, that's what kills a man. And what could be more dismal than a duty that would never end, never alter, never signify anything? Most folks look at this narrative and shiver. It feels like the ideal metaphor for the futility of existence itself. We wake up, we work, we chase dreams, we struggle, we lose, we try again, and in the end, we all meet the same fate: death. No matter how much we accomplish, no matter how far we climb, everything resets. Generations before us have toiled, developed, and struggled, only for their achievements to disappear with time. Monuments collapse, names are forgotten, civilizations flourish and fall. If life is merely a continuous circle of effort leading to nothing, what's the point? That's why many consider Sisyphus as a sad person. His anguish is our suffering. His punishment is our daily grind, our unanswered questions, our constant search for purpose in a cosmos that does not respond. But Camus, he saw something different, something that flipped the entire meaning of the narrative upside down. What if Sisyphus is not suffering? What if Sisyphus is genuinely free? It sounds ludicrous at first. How could someone be free in a position like his? But here's what Camus realized. The minute Sisyphus accepts his fate, when he stops struggling, quits wanting for things to be different, he becomes more powerful than the gods who cursed him. The gods intended to shatter him. They wanted him to suffer beneath the weight of hopelessness. But what if he simply refused to suffer? Imagine Sisyphus standing at the bottom of the mountain, watching his boulder tumble back down. But instead of blaming the gods or falling into despair, he merely shrugs, takes a big breath, and starts pushing again. No complaints, no self-pity, no need for a huge explanation. What if, when he walked back down to fetch his boulder, he smiled? Camus stated, "One must imagine Sisyphus happy." And that single sentence alters everything, because that means we are not crushed by meaninglessness unless we want to be. It implies that life's absence of inherent meaning is not a curse, it's a chance. Camus thought that we are all Sisyphus. We get up every morning, we go to work, we chase our aspirations, we fall, we get up, we form connections, create things, and strive to carve out a place in the world. And yeah, ultimately it all resets. Generations from now, nothing we accomplish may be remembered. But does it mean what we do is worthless? Only if we want to perceive it that way. Here's the key. Once we accept that existence has no grand cosmic significance, we are free to invent our own. Think about it. If life had some ultimate predestined meaning, we'd be trapped by it. We wouldn't be free, we'd just be following a script. But because there is no set meaning, we get to select what matters to us. Instead of waiting for the universe to offer us a purpose, we understand we don't need one. We cease striving for some ultimate explanation for our existence and start living for the experience itself. The beauty of the absurd. This is what embracing the absurd actually implies. It's not about claiming life has some great cosmic meaning. It's not about sinking into despair and thinking nothing matters. So why try? It's about revolting against the absurd by choosing to live anyway. Not because we expect some magnificent recompense, nor because we believe in an afterlife or fate or some divine script, but simply because we can. Because joy is possible, even in a pointless universe. Because we may choose to love, to create, to laugh, to explore, not for some greater reason, but just because it's worth it in the present. Finding freedom in the absurd. Instead of seeing life as a curse, we see it as a playground, a zone where we are free to explore, to construct, to fail, to feel everything fully without having any external reason. And that's why Sisyphus is pleased. He knows his labor will never finish. He knows the boulder will always roll back down. But he pushes anyway, not because it will lead someplace, but because he chooses to. And when we stop asking, "What's the point?" and start replying, "Why not?" that's when we truly become free. That's when life gets lighter, brighter, more interesting. Because instead of seeking for a purpose that doesn't exist, we start making one for ourselves. Camus did not merely stop at philosophy. He thought absurdism was not simply something to ponder about, but something to practice. It was not about sitting about pondering the meaninglessness of existence. It was about embracing it, turning it into fire for action. But how do we actually achieve that? Here are 3 practical strategies to live an absurdist life. Stop overthinking and take action. Most of us spend our lives caught in overthinking. What if I fail? What if things don't work out? What if I make the incorrect choice? We pause, we scrutinize, we wait for the proper time. But here's the truth: the cosmos does not care. You could sit there fretting about every conceivable consequence, but the fact is, none of it matters as much as you believe it does. Lost. Your job? So what? The world continues turning. Another opportunity will arrive. Failed at something? Who cares? The universe is not keeping score. Made a mistake? Welcome to being human. Move on. Camus reminds us that life is ludicrous, unexpected, and chaotic. Instead, than spending energy on overthinking, just take action. Because in the end, whether you succeed or fail, the boulder is going to tumble back down anyhow. So why stress over it? Embrace life's meaninglessness as an opportunity. Most people think meaninglessness is a reason to despair, whereas Camus regarded it as an opportunity. Since life has no inherent purpose, you are totally free to enjoy it on your own terms. Think about it. When you laugh, even if life is pointless, you are rebelling against the absurd. When you love, knowing that everything vanishes, you are fighting against the absurd. When you create, understanding that nothing lasts forever, you are fighting against the absurd. Every act of delight is a sort of rebellion. Instead of sitting around feeling lost, rebel by enjoying life nonetheless. Laugh boldly, love sincerely, explore without requiring a cause. Flip the question and ask, why not? Most of us pause before making important decisions. Should I launch that business? Should I take that risk? Should I travel, learn something new, or follow my passion? And our brain constantly reacts with a series of reasons why we shouldn't. It's hazardous. It might not succeed. It's not realistic. What if I fail? But Camus would encourage us to invert the question. Instead of asking why, ask why not. Why not start that project? Why not take that risk? Why not live boldly? Because at the end of the day, the boulder's going to tumble back down no matter what. So why not have fun with it? Camus' absurdism is not about yielding to meaninglessness. It's about revolting against it by choosing to live, to act, to feel everything without seeking any ultimate goal. And once you start experiencing life through this lens, everything changes. You stop waiting, you stop hesitating, you stop fretting about things that don't matter. And instead, you start living. From the minute we are born, we are informed that life has a purpose. Society, religion, culture, everyone provides us answers. This is the proper route. This is what you must do. This is what will give your life significance. And so we spend our lives searching, looking for meaning in success, looking for significance in relationships, looking for meaning in ideas, ideologies, and achievements. But what if the fact is this? There is no meaning. Not written in the sky, not waiting to be discovered, not concealed in some old document. At first, this could seem intimidating, but Camus viewed it differently. If life has no purpose, then you are entirely free. Free from expectations, free from pressure, free from the weight of requiring a cause to live. And with that freedom, you get something extraordinary, the capacity to construct your own meaning, nor because the cosmos delivers it to you, nor because some greater power requires it, but because you choose it. Camus' message is simple yet profound. live completely, laugh loudly, love profoundly, create, explore, experience. Not because life has a purpose, but because you are alive. And that, in itself, is enough. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. Albert Camus. What do you think? Do you agree with Camus' opinion on life and meaning? Let me know in the comments. If you found this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell symbol so you never miss a new upload. See you in the next one.